the site of one of the oldest reported and actually documented ghost sightings here in Britain.
There was a figure of a lady. She was solid, like a real person being stood there.
So I got no idea.
Aside.
Something just hit me on the arm. I shit you not.
Jay. Which one? There's a which one? That's a which one?
Oh! The middle one. Erupt.
Okay.
No comment. Hello Crypt Keepers and welcome to Bolling Hall. They say this building behind me is one of the most haunted places in England. Not only that, it's actually the site of one of the oldest reported and actually documented ghost sightings here in Britain. I believe it dates back to the 1600s, and this ghost sighting is so notorious and is so prevalent, they actually named the room this occurred in the ghost room. But it's not just the ghost room that's haunted here. We also have a pink lady, a grey lady, any number of spirits here on the grounds, plus in the building. I think this is going to be a really, really interesting one. We are also joined by a good friend of mine, Alison from Adelaide's Haunted Horizons, come all the way from Australia to join us for this one. Always happy to have her on board. Now, obviously, as mentioned, this is a very cool place, a very cool piece of paranormal history, and I am excited to get in there and investigate. But look, I could live at this place. This is like the perfect haunted building, just looking at it. Look at that. I can't wait. But if you're ready to get inside and investigate, hit like, make sure you subscribe, all that good stuff, because I feel like we have a very spooky episode in the works here. The first mention of Bolling Hall was marked in the Domesday Book of 1086, although the building has seen different eras of construction and decoration over the years that followed, with parts dating to medieval times still standing strong.
Well, Bolling Hall is quite unique in the local area. It's one of the few buildings open to the public that dates over so many different centuries. So essentially, you're time travelling when you visit the museum. It dates from the 1370s right up until about 1780, and it's furnished for each particular period, so it's journeying through all interior design through that period.
The hall has stood the test of time, surviving some of the most violent moments in England's history, even becoming a stronghold during the Civil War as a place that supported the Royalist cause and played a pivotal role during the Siege of Bradford, but also housing many prominent families over hundreds of years who each lived and died within this grandiose home.
There's been a great number of people that's lived here. The kind of four big families that are involved really with the major changes at Bolling are the Bolling family. They were the first family to kind of be noted to have lived in this area, the plot of land where we actually are now. They, we think, were around about 1086. They were the family that constructed the oldest part of the building as it stands today, and they lived here right until about 1497 when they married to the Tempest family, and they're the next kind of big family that lived here, and they lived here from 1497 to towards the end of the English Civil War, and they kind of backed the wrong side in the English Civil War. So the lead member of the family, Richard Tempest, he was a royalist, and when the royalists kind of lost the war, he was fined, and he was also placed in Fleet Prison in London where he actually died. He had to sell the estate basically, and then it kind of went to a guy called Henry Saville, but he only lived there for about 10 years. And then the next kind of major family was the Linleys, and they lived here for about 90 odd years. The first one was called Francis Linley, but he only lived here for about a year because he passed away. His son came of age, and he was also called Francis, and he took over the estate also. His son was called Walter. In the records that we have, he was described as a lunatic or idiot. Now, we don't really know what that means, but he was deemed not capable of running the estate, and his mother and his two sisters run the estate on his behalf. And then the Wood family, who are again the next big family that moved here, they moved in about 1770, and they lived here till the early years of the 19th century. But there's been quite a few other people that's lived here as well.
Bolling Hall remains as one of the oldest and most historically significant buildings in Bradford, England, but it is also significant within paranormal history, as it holds one of England's oldest ghost stories, a documented tale of a ghostly visitation to a bedchamber, now appropriately named the Ghost ghost room, which resulted in thousands of lives being saved from an imminent bloody massacre. This is a haunting we will attempt to investigate tonight, along with the countless other paranormal occurrences said to saturate this property.
I think the most common is either just an uneasy feeling or an aroma. There's lots of different smells here that can't be explained. Roses in the middle of winter, they're the most common. It's actually quite rare to actually see things. A lot of people think that you come into Bolling and things are happening all the time, but it doesn't work that way. You can go days, weeks, even months with absolutely nothing happening whatsoever. And then all of a sudden, then one day, something will occur. But yeah, it's mainly strange sensations. I suppose in the second place would be sound.
Tonight, we'll dig deep into the history of Bolling Hall, reach out to the spirit of a woman sighted on a very active staircase, play with the ghosts of young children, and attempt to contact anyone who may remain within the notorious ghost room. So if you're ready to investigate Bolling Hall with us, hit like, subscribe, and let's jump into it. Night has fallen. We are inside Bolling Hall.
Finally. Finally. Well, actually, right now we're in the gift shop. That's not too spooky, is it?
The ghost stories here, though. Spooky, spooky. And you know what? The gift shop actually is one of the oldest parts of this building, Jared.
Really?
Yep. Oh, I just got a nice juicy orb. So this dates to at least the 1300s, right? But there's been a structure on here since like 1086. That was the first documented case of a building being on this site.
It is definitely really old. I mean, you can tell the roof and that, right? These beams.
Ooh. Do not go any further.
What?
Gonna roll GhostTube.
Scared the out of me.
I know, I'm so sorry. Why did I say it
I was
like
going to
that?
say though, we are on witch mark hunt tonight. This building strikes me as the type that would have witch marks.
We are so obsessed with witch marks, not even funny. And GhostTube is rolling though, right now. So if there are any spirits around, my name is Amy, this guy, you're Jared, right? And come talk to us. You can use your energy, come close to my hand and make this say some crazy stuff.
But we are starting, of course, in one of the most important rooms, the kitchen. Actually, they say this is the hot kitchen, right? Why do they call it that?
So you've got the warm, I think it's the warm kitchen and the cold room, or the cold kitchen. And that's just because one has a fireplace, one does not. The area that we're moving into now, this dates to
I don't know.
I can tell you this dates to the 1400s. What don't you know? You don't know how to use this, you don't know who we are.
Right, so we've got this massive stove here. Any witch marks? Any witch marks? None that I can see.
You know what, there might be a witch mark. I've actually got something very old in here. So this is the cold kitchen. And I like how I say very old, like this place isn't already very old, but it's this door here. Look at that, that is a prison door.
Door came from the Bradford prison. There you go. 1427? Is that the year? I'm not seeing any witch marks though. No obvious ones though.
So what we're looking for, guys, witch marks, basically old-timey marks, usually on doorways, fireplaces, windows, entrances into a building, basically to ward off evil spirits. And if this place doesn't have any witch marks, maybe they're just like, it's full of evil spirits.
Can I just say, while you were talking, I did actually hear a noise originate from this room, and our other camera may have picked it up.
Yeah, I heard that.
Which would be unexplained because Alison's nowhere near here. She should be down the opposite end of the building. It was like a metallic...
Yeah, I want to say like a tink or a clank or...
Like maybe one of the bowls, plates, I don't know. There's so much stuff in here that could make a noise.
Tiny marks usually on... Someone eating their lunch. Wait, it'd be like totally tea or
Stop
dinner.
interrupting.
Yeah, they're definitely eating. That'd be so me. I'm like, please stop interrupting. I guess they would make the food here.
Maybe they're talking and we're just like yabbering on.
Yeah, probably the case. Okay, well maybe you can talk. Tell me your
You
name.
talk to us and we'll stop talking.
Yeah. Before we move on though, we've got this like little study. There is a very old book in here that's so sensitive to light. It's kept under a cloth. That is like an inventory from the 1600s. It's crazy. We're now making our way into the main hall. It's a ghost!
Hey, Alison, how you going?
Hey, hey!
Oh, it's fine. My retinas have gone again, but that's okay.
We like blinding you with our bright light.
Wakes me up.
Have you had any vibes here so far?
I know the ghost room, but I think that's because it looks dark and creepy.
The ghost room, we haven't gotten there yet, have we?
The ghost room, wait till you guys see it. There is vibes in there, just like how it looks, right?
Oh, lots of vibes. So looking forward to that one.
Like you think a room called the ghost room, it's perfect. The name, yeah, to a T. Here, we asked Alison to recount an experience we'd had together off camera earlier in the evening, which would occur for us once again later in a very similar fashion.
And was it when you were doing the interview?
Yeah.
And we were just sitting here, and the bag just did that. But it was a real slap on the... Even I can't make it go down as loud as what we heard.
Yeah. You and I were sitting here, right?
Yeah.
In these two chairs?
Yeah. And I just saw it lift and go down. It was really weird. Why? What did you have happen?
Whilst you were doing your tour, Alison,
Yeah.
our bag, this one I believe, did the same thing. Something moved while we were digging through one of the other bags. So yeah, it was like our bags were like leaning like here, or something moved, and we weren't watching it because we were digging through one of the other bags at the time. But the same sort of thing, bag moving.
Okay.
Now, Alison, we're going to leave you alone while we continue our explore.
I'm off to do a lone vigil.
A lone vigil. So
Good
guys,
luck.
make sure you are following Haunted Horizons and you can see what Alison gets up to. But we'll see you a bit later.
I'll even try and stay awake.
So guys, haunted staircase just through here, but I gotta show you this room. Bolling Hall has to be one of the most visually stunning places we have ever investigated. And just look at this room and the ceiling and think about the areas that we've just walked through, because this looks so different. It's like all these different eras. This is more like 1700s. It's a lovely.
It's a lovely. It's a lovely. But let's show them this haunted staircase. Why is the staircase so haunted?
The old haunted staircase. And I really want to show you guys this and talk about this, but there is a pug dog in the next room. You have to see it. I know that's random, but you have to see it. I was like, oh look, a little dog. And our guide is like, that's a real dog. That's a taxidermy dog. It's a pug. And you all know what pugs look like, right? Because of breeding, to a certain extent, pugs look different these days to this pug. It's that old. He looks so different. His like snout is more pronounced. It's less puggish, I guess, but it's a pug. It's a very early iteration of a pug, I guess.
So guys, just so you can see this room, very fancy. Being in the dark doesn't really help.
Why is the door cracking? Can you just slam that door, please? So we weren't touching that, but the door was creaking. It was doing that.
I heard it, I didn't see it though.
Yeah, I couldn't see it moving, but I could definitely hear it. Perhaps, we just walked in past it. It's not like it's connected. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. It's only connected to hinges. It's not resting on the floors or anything.
Hang on. Yeah, it's not reacting to me on the floorboards.
Why do you look like Jack Sparrow as you do that?
Oh.
Anyway, we need to concentrate on this staircase.
The staircase that you're pertaining to is what we call the Jordan staircase. It's in part of the building. It was reconstructed in the years between 78 and 1780. I have my own personal experience, and other people have had experiences there as well, but my own personal experience is quite a few years ago, we'd closed the building to the public at 4 p.m. There was only myself and another member of staff in the building, who was a male member of staff, and I was stood in the doorway of the staff room. As I'm stood in the doorway, I saw something move to the right hand side of my face, and I turned to look in that direction, which meant I looked through the main hall, which is where I'm sat right now, and I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but there is a doorway behind me, right? And in that doorway there was a figure of a lady. She was solid. She was like a real person being stood there, but she had a very, very old-fashioned, large, flowing dress on. I didn't initially think it was a ghost. I just simply thought, why is there a lady stood there in an old-fashioned dress? She just seemed to glide out of view as such to where the bottom of the staircase is. I went running through the house body and got to the bottom of the staircase where I thought she'd gone, and there was nobody there. So I started climbing up the staircase, and as I climbed the staircase and turned onto the landing, I looked at the portrait which lies on that staircase, and it's a portrait of a lady called Caroline Wood, who lived in the late 18th, early 19th century. And as soon as I saw the portrait, I realised that had been the lady I'd just seen in the room below. Exactly what you said in the portrait, the dress, the necklace, hair was done up the same. It was almost as if she'd climbed out of the portrait and gone for a little wander. Other people do claim to have seen her in the past. I think the most, I suppose the scariest kind of occurrence, but back in the 1980s there was a lady that worked here, and there was a gardener who worked in the gardens at Bolling. It was a bit of a ritual that at 11 o'clock he would come to the back doors and he would come in for a cup of tea with this particular member of staff. And he said he approached the door to find the back doors slightly open, and as he came through the back doors he found this member of staff, this lady, fainted. She'd collapsed on the floor. When he brought her round, she told him a story, and she said she'd been cleaning at the bottom of the staircase and she turned around and seen a lady who did resemble Caroline Wood, and this lady just walked straight through her. So she was incredibly shocked, and she apparently stumbled to get to the back doors to alert this gardener to what had just occurred, but she hadn't quite made it. Now, the gardener did actually say that this lady had black hair, but only when she'd come round and she was okay, he looked at her and he realised that her hair had turned completely white.
Look at how epic it looks, right? And I'm just gonna put GhostTube here for a sec. On the haunted staircase. It's haunted by a lady. I'm gonna call her Pink Lady, a lady in pink, which is lovely and very cool. And I can show you exactly what this ghost looks like, because there's a portrait up here that she's described as being. So people believe that the spirit is that of Caroline Wood because of this portrait. They've seen her full-bodied apparition to the point where it's like, yes, I can identify this person based off this portrait. It's the same. So our guide saw her come from this door in here towards the staircase. We did come through here earlier though, and we just rolled GhostTube. We're doing a behind the scenes type thing for my patrons and YouTube members. And I'll cut in the response that we got. And her hair turned completely white.
Positively.
Okay.
It was almost like it was validating the story. Could be a coincidence, but it was pretty well timed.
It was like an agreement. Like, yeah, positively, I am here. I'm like, positively. So Carolyn or anybody else who might be here, because I have also heard online that there is a grey lady perhaps here too. Not sure if it's the same person, just wearing a different dress, I guess. Or maybe it's someone completely different.
Uncle.
It'd be interesting to look up
so many,
who her uncle is.
And there's think of the lineages linked to this place. There's 4 families that apparently were involved in this property over the years.
There's 4 prominent families, but there's many more families that did live here. Also, just in the main hall that we walked through, we'll get a shot of it, but there are so many family crests that are displayed on the stained glass window in there, and that was sort of a show of power and superiority that we've married into and amongst all of these prominent families. So there's a lot. Uncle could be, so can we have a name for the uncle, please?
Is this the uncle?
Probably someone's uncle. They hide. Actually, what's funny is we'll get to a story about ghost children in the blue room when we get there, but they seem to hide and play.
So there are child spirits here? Okay.
Okay, maybe they're there hiding.
Maybe they'll come out to play tonight?
I hope so, oh my god. So this seems like a rather good vantage point halfway up to see a ghost. But here we have Caroline Wood, that is the lady that has been seen in pink. And on the other side is her husband, who unfortunately passed away in a sea battle. What do you call that, a naval battle? And that portrait is him actually pointing out to sea where he died. So Caroline, if you're here, if you can give us a sign of your presence, we would greatly appreciate that. Yeah, Caroline, we're here all night, so feel free to communicate, show yourself, touch us, etc. That sounds so weird.
That does sound weird.
Through here is a room that made me feel very weird today, and apparently this happens to a lot of people. And I'm curious if it translates on camera. So we're going to walk into this next room here. I'm not going to tell you immediately what the room feels like, Leave a comment if you get any vibes or feelings or anything like physiological happens to you. Whew,
It's a very red room, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, I got the same feeling just then again. Does it hit you?
Me?
Yeah, does it hit you?
A little bit. Anyone at home, start leaving comments and put in the chat, are you feeling anything in this room?
Honestly, it affects me.
I don't know if it will translate through the video, if you know what I mean. I do want to point out that this bed is a very rare, probably valuable bed, which is why we're not going to sit on it. Has everyone guessed what it is about this room that makes people feel weird? Did it translate through the camera? We're about to find out.
Okay, so we're going to just call this the red room because it's very red. Maybe it's the colour. Maybe it's the padded walls because these are all padded, carpeted walls.
Like, show us. There you go.
But as soon as you walk into this room, like my ears feel weird. And that's without even like making noise or talking. You walk in, it's like the air is different in here. Perhaps it's not like paranormal reasoning, but people come in here and they feel so off. I got it in my ears and my head like a bubble. It's made people sick. It's made them nauseous and just like, I need to get out. I can't stand this. I've got a headache now.
I think it's because of the padded walls. It just sounds weird. And that's what I meant by, I don't know if this is going to translate through the video to you guys, but when you walk in here, it's unusual because I think your body expects there to be like a little bit of echo.
Did you pick up on it? Yeah, experiment. We like to experiment here. Okay, and welcome to the nursery. I've just got to note this is the most badass rocking horse I've ever seen in my life.
It's a 3-seater rocking horse. I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah, there is a haunted object in here. Can you guess? Can you guess? Can you guess? Can you guess what it is? All the objects in here, have a think what it could be. So leave a comment. Are you picking up vibes on anything? Please leave a comment because any second now I'm going to tell you what the haunted object is. And the haunted object is the piano. I said that so musically.
She's got Broadway names. AmysCrypt the musical.
We have a baby grand piano, and it belonged to a classical composer called Frederick Delius. Now, Frederick Delius was actually born in Bradford. We had these visitors in, and there was a lady with a grandchild in that room where the baby grand is. I could hear them talking, and the girl was saying, there's a man sat on the stool by the piano, and he's looking at me very strange, and he's got strange clothes on. And the lady's kind of, well, there's nobody there. It's an empty chair. You know, stop being silly. The following day, this lady came in on her own. Says, well, I thought I'd come in and tell you what happened. She says, well, I got home and I told my husband about what had occurred, and he looked up a particular photograph. And this photograph shows about 20 classical composers. And he called the granddaughter over and says, you know, have a look at this picture. Is anybody on here that you might kind of know? And she pointed the finger directly at Frederick Delius and said, that is the man I saw sat at the piano stool at Bolling Hall.
I did ask, I was like, has the piano ever played on its own? That was before I even knew it was haunted. Our guide was like, no. But he's like, but it is haunted.
There's a first time for everything though, you never know.
Yeah, we gotta try these things. Frederick, that's my dream, to hear you play the piano. This piano. But now to my favourite and probably the most famous haunted room in the house. And look, this is why this is my favourite room. Ghost room. Honestly, besides being the ghost room, it's the most ornate, most stunning room in the house. And it's so dark and just ghostly and just, I love everything about this room. I want this room so bad.
Well, the ghost room is quite famous, even if you've not actually been to Bolling Hall. And it goes back to the English Civil War, which was fought in the 1640s primarily. In 1643, it came to the Bradford area, and about 4 miles away from the building, there's a moor, which is called Adwalton Moor. It's actually quite an important battle in the English Civil War, and the Royalist forces who were fighting parliamentarians won that particular battle, and they came as guests of the Tempest family at Bolling Hall. If you stand at the north side of the building, or you could have seen at that time Bradford itself. So it was a perfect vantage point to be a kind of siege tower. And the commanding officer, who was a gentleman called William Cavendish, he issued an order to his men, and the order was that they were going to go into the town of Bradford, and every single person in the town would be massacred. He fell asleep in what is now known as a ghost room because of the story I'm just telling you, and he was visited by the ghost of a girl apparently who was crying, wringing her hands, pulling the bed sheets off him and saying the words that a lot of Bradfordians know: pity poor Bradford. Pity poor Bradford. So the following morning, he left the building, issued new orders to his troops, and the orders were that they would capture Bradford for the king, but they were ordered not to hurt anyone unless they actually fought back. So consequently, we think only about 10 to 12 people actually lost their lives.
I don't know if it's the oldest or one of the oldest ghost stories that's actually documented in Britain. Like, this happened in the 1600s, guys. Like, and look, you got the tale of the ghost and the little depiction there. You think of this ghost, right? Let's say she is a ghost. And after hearing that story, do you not just think, that ghost is a hero?
Think how many people would have survived because of her supposed warning of the death.
I think it was estimated about 3,000 people would have died, but 10 or 12 ended up dying after she visited the chamber and it caused the change, you know, so it's very interesting. There is some tales about this bed, and I had heard about this bed before visiting. There's some things that should be cleared up about it.
The bed that's in the ghost room, the bed doesn't actually come from Bolling Hall, it was donated. We used to think it had a story connected to it, and the basic story was there was a miser who was obviously very secretive about his money, and apparently in the frame of the bed there was a compartment where he kept his money. And two people, we think who were friends, apparently, applied him with drink, got him extremely drunk and tried to get him to reveal the secret compartment, but he said that he wouldn't, and consequently they lost their temper and killed him. The legend is that if moonlight shines on the frame of the bed, it illuminates a skull, which is where the location of the compartment is. To kind of spoil the story somewhat, it's recently been identified that the bed we've got in the ghost room isn't actually that bed, sadly. There is a bed, but it's elsewhere.
If there is a spirit of a girl here, I don't know if you're still here, if you can hear my voice at all, but I just want to say thank you. As I said, you're a hero. You saved a lot of people's lives. And you've forever been etched into history. I thought I just heard something.
Let me see if that's Alice or someone.
What I heard was... What I heard felt like it was like right beside me, and it felt like a very dull, like...
That noise?
That was right behind you, that crack was. But that's not what I heard.
Okay, so we're getting a few noises in here.
If you can hear my voice, can you do this for me?
Sing.
Sing, okay.
Like an eagle, I will fly.
Did you like that? I'm a slave for you.
Has them singing.
You like a bit of Britney. We're now moving into what is called the Blue Room, which is also paranormally active. This room is gorgeous, and call it the room. They call it the Blue Room because of the blue bed. But children's spirits are most likely hanging out in here.
In the blue bedroom at Bolling, I've heard the sound of small children playing. And at this point, we've not actually been open to the public. There's nobody else in the building. And I've heard children running through the blue room upstairs, sometimes bouncing a ball. And sometimes they've been singing nursery rhymes. And on one particular occasion, I remember trying to kind of hear the words, but I couldn't make them out. So I crept up the staircase, which is not too far away from that room. And as I got to the top of the staircase, the singing stopped. And it was completely silent. You could hear as they say a pin drop. And after about 10 seconds or so, a little girl laughed. And it was a cheeky kind of taunting laugh, as if to say, you'll never find out, you'll never know. So it's quite common year, that actually.
Blows my mind because it's got like this wooden, is it mahogany style sort of walls? Like it seems like it should be like master's room or an office of some kind. Why are kids seen here?
Well, the kids are cheeky, playing around, and if you try to approach them, they sort of, in essence, hide, which makes me think of that GhostTube response that we got, they hide, earlier, right? So maybe they're not even supposed to be in here and they're little cheeky buggers. But of course, like bedrooms, like kids would have been raised there too, right?
All right, kids, you're hiding from me. I'm gonna come find you. Can you give me a clue? Because I got no idea.
Oh, I was just gonna say my ears went all funny.
I just said, can you give me a clue? Where are you? Can you give me a clue?
Okay.
Say beside.
So beside you or beside me? I'm gonna sing a nursery rhyme to you because apparently you like to do that. A ring a rosy, a pocket full of posies, a tissue, we all fall down.
Isn't that song based on the plague? Is that really an appropriate song to be singing?
They say that, but was it?
I don't know. I want to explore this beside thing. So I was standing here and it said beside, right? So beside could be here, or beside could be this fireplace or this cupboard.
Make a noise where you are. That was me. Unless it was beside me. If there are children here, can you just make a little noise where you are? We'll follow it.
Did you see a whistle?
I sounded like a kid.
I heard a noise and then I heard... That's just a fire alarm beeping. I got the word beside and it led... There is a staircase here leading into another bedroom. Could it be in there?
I noticed there is a cot in here on the floor.
So this is what? The green room, given the bed's green?
Undecided.
Maybe it's not called that.
No, I was just thinking like, this isn't the room that I wanted to go to. Hate could be relevant to this person as well. I'm thinking Walter's room, which is this down here, right? Just for here, we have what they call the Civil War room. So that is decked out with artifacts from the Civil War, but there is a staircase here that leads up to Walter's room. So this is where Walter literally spent his whole life, just up this skinny, steep staircase. He was essentially hidden and sheltered away. And our guide told us back in the day, he was described as a lunatic. We wouldn't use that term today. And they're not exactly sure why he was described that way, but he was not capable of overseeing the estate, and his mother and sister did that for him. But it was almost like they were ashamed of him and just hid him up these stairs away. So maybe hate is in relation to him. I'm not saying they hated him, but perhaps he hated the treatment he endured.
Unfortunately, we can't go into Walter's room because the staircase is too dangerous, but we can go to the room below in the Civil War room.
So obviously Civil War is a big part of the history here, particularly the paranormal history, because you already know the ghost room story, right? The ghost story of the ghost room. We do have some artifacts in here, including a very special one. That is Oliver Cromwell's death mask. That's not the original, it's like a casting of his death mask, but it's still very interesting to look at the face of such a historic, prominent figure. Okay, back in the green room. Oh, you guys, you're in for a treat tonight. In for a right AmysCrypt treat. Jared, behind this curtain, you do the honours.
It is a restroom.
It's literally a toilet, Jared. Why you say restroom?
I don't know. We've got a lot of Americans watching.
It's the dunny, it's the it's a drop into a pit, and they would have had a wooden seat where you could sit on. But apparently they kept their finest cloves in there because of the smell. The moths didn't like to eat the cloves and they didn't hang around that area. So imagine that.
So imagine the smell of this long drop. That's where they decided to put their fancy clothing.
Oh, Jared! That's not really a witch mark, but it's an engraving.
Arr. Does that mean anything?
Oh,
and
there's a few.
J. Witch mark! There is a witch mark! That's a witch mark. Double V.
Okay.
That's a double V. It's a witch mark.
What's in it if it's got a witch mark on it?
I got no idea, but that is really cool. We said we were going to find one tonight. I told you. Oh, here's another chest. Can we see, does this one have a witch mark on it? No. No, not seeing anything. Oh, Ames. Is that a witch mark?
There's Daisy.
A circle with a daisy in
Yeah.
it, that's a witch mark, isn't it?
Yeah.
Another chest that's got
Maybe they're
initials on it as well.
protective for chests. I don't know.
DP.
Like you keep valuables in them or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. This is really, this room's had all the witch marks.
We're now making our way upstairs to our last room.
Hang on a sec.
What was that?
What?
Look at me.
I'm looking at you.
Something just hit me on the arm. I thought I had... So I've got this lapel, this microphone here. I thought that had come off and like flung off because I felt it on my arm and then I heard something on the floor here. Like something was thrown at me. Like a little rock or something. Like, I shit you not.
I didn't see or hear anything. I was just picking up this camera.
Here, it truly felt as though someone had hit me on the arm, or like something had been thrown at me. Unfortunately, nothing can be seen or really heard in the replay, as we were just gathering cameras and tripods to head upstairs. But it was a string of GhostTube responses that followed this incident that would get truly strange, and which began right as I was searching for anything on the floor that could have fallen onto me. To God, felt like I thought something was thrown at me. Okay.
I like you.
I like you. Okay, I'm glad to hear that.
Maybe
You
someone
like
just touched
me?
you on the arm because they like you.
Maybe. If you like me, we're about to head upstairs and I'd love for you to follow us. Alright, come upstairs with us then. This room is pretty cool. It's the bedchamber at the very top of the tower in the oldest part of the building. Anyone here that wants to make their presence known?
Feeling.
Oh, feeling. You said you felt like you got touched downstairs?
Feeling me?
Left.
It was on my left arm. Wait.
And we got
It was on my left arm.
and we got beside
Which
you
I
before as well.
honestly, I thought it was beside me, not you.
Maybe like something's been following you around.
Well, it said that I like you.
I like you beside.
That's actually
Feeling.
pretty crazy. We're about to cut and everyone's like, yeah, let's go now. But
You know what though? You did say you did ask.
follow me up here.
You did say that, and you also just as we were about to cut, you said
Make your presence known. Feeling.
make your presence known. Yeah, that's right.
After such strange and relevant responses, but without much else occurring, we decided to move towards the haunted staircase to see if activity would follow us, or if the ghost of Carolyn Wood could make her presence known. Here I took a series of Polaroid and digital photographs with nothing of interest captured before rigging multiple cameras to watch the staircase while we reached out using GhostTube Vox. About to roll Vox, but we did just get REM pod at the very top of the stairs trigger. Kind of interesting because it's right near the portrait of Caroline. Yeah, I wonder if she's residual or intelligent and might actually be able to talk to us. Fox is rolling. My name is Amy. I'm visiting tonight with Jared. Calling out to anyone that might be here, whether that's Caroline Wood, another lady, a man, children, anyone. Can you come up and say hello? That sounded like music, but at the same time it kind of sounded like my name. I know my name, Amy, it sounds like a lot of things, but what do you think? Leave a comment. Where are you? Do you want me to go up the stairs or down the stairs? Did you hear that?
No.
I thought I heard a noise in there, which is the public toilet.
Can you walk up the stairs for us? Or can you come down the stairs? We've heard you like to hang around here. Would you like us to come up?
This way.
This way?
So again, if you can go to the red lights just like this, you might have already done it up there. It's just going to tell us where you are, if you're down or if you're up.
And
I thought that said hand.
I thought that too.
I can't.
You can use your hand to touch that. If you get very close to the red light, won't hurt, just shows us you're here. Who's in this portrait behind Jared?
The animal. Decision of me.
The animal. What is the animal? What animal? You're describing a person. You think they're like an animal?
Available to.
I like your pink dress. It's beautiful.
Can you come join us?
I can.
Can you come join us on the staircase? We'd like to speak to a woman that's seen here, a lady.
Family?
Can you come join me by the window?
What colour is the lady's dress?
That's a good question. What colour is your dress?
I've heard there's a lady in grey here as well, not just pink. Tell me about that.
We spoke.
We've spoken, implying the grey lady's already spoken to us. What is the name of the grey lady? Are you Caroline as well? Are you aware that you turned a lady's hair grey or white? Are you able to turn my hair white? I actually want that. I want like full white hair. Tap behind me.
On the landing.
Yeah. Can the lady come forward? Can you just say your name to confirm who you are? Yeah, it's great.
Came from the bottom of the stairs or downstairs?
Mm-hmm.
You down here?
We're coming down. Oh!
You want us to
That
stay?
was up.
You want us to stay?
Okay. Well, you got to talk to me then.
She left.
She left. I walked down the stairs before and didn't trigger it. Let's just repeat. These are pretty solid stairs.
Don't fall.
These are like stone.
Yeah,
It's not
they
wood.
are. They're not wood.
This is not wooden.
All right. Who is this? Can you speak?
It's like they reacted when we said we're heading downstairs.
Yeah.
Well, actually, specifically when you headed downstairs.
Do you want me to go down? You stay here.
Yeah, see if it triggers again. Oh, it is.
It just said something. I don't know what it said though.
So when you head downstairs, it seems to trigger.
Can you come light this one up down here with me? You're allowed down here too, right?
Notice how when you're walking down, the other one's not triggering. Like, I really don't think that's us.
He's.
He's.
Who are you? Can we have a name, please? With activity slowing on the staircase, we decided to leave a GhostTube SLS camera rigged in this space to monitor for activity, while we linked up with Alison from Adelaide's Haunted Horizons to perform an Estes inside the ghost room. Here, Alison would wear noise-cancelling headphones and repeat anything coming from a spirit box, while we asked questions she couldn't hear. Additionally, we'd roll GhostTube Seer to see if any images formed based off environmental readings interpreted by AI. We've got Alison in the ghost room, and we've got a Seer out here with us. And if there's anyone around, there's a lady in your room, we'd love for you to go talk to her. Tell her your name.
I think that said boring.
It wants us... well, okay. You want us to sing? Is that what you want? You want me to sing? You asked that earlier.
Amused.
Huh. So they're bored and now they're amused.
Maybe they're like...
Us.
Us?
How many are you?
Yeah, it's raining men. Hallelujah.
He said.
It's raining men.
Yeah, you did.
He said.
600.
Could that be to do with the number of people in the town or something?
What does 600 mean?
London.
You come from London? You got someone in London? What does London mean? I just had a tap. Could be in there with Alison, so I need to review the camera.
He resigned.
He resigned.
There was a female wailing then.
Could that be the girl? Ooh,
20. He left.
maybe that's to do with the number that died. I'm actually seeing a red blob is how I can describe it. I don't know what that is.
It looks
It's
like
snow.
and then red.
Red.
I'm getting Civil War vibes with the red and the snow. 4 miles from here there was a large battle, a lot of casualties and death. And of course, story.
Maybe they don't like Alison in the ghost room. Why can't she be in there?
What were you showing us on that picture?
Sleep.
They're trying to sleep.
Well, she came to him in a dream, didn't she? Or in the middle of the night or something?
So what I wanted to say before, the woman was a young woman, maybe she was 20, like Alison said. She was very sad and distraught and like rubbing her hands. And she was asking for pity for Bradford. That's what she kept repeating.
The town of Bradford.
She was basically pleading for mercy. Don't go in and kill all those people. What do you want from us?
Can you say pity for us so that we know it's you? Repeat the word pity.
Steve.
Not quite.
Steve. Who's Steve?
Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
Pity is the word we're after.
Kitchen.
Okay, so Alison said she just heard loud shuffling in the kitchen. She was investigating there while we were on the staircase.
You'll have to see it in her video, obviously.
So watch her video. She reckons it's very loud.
But we heard that ting noise while we were doing our walkthrough.
Ships.
Ships, the naval battle? Can you tell us about the ships? You were talking about a naval battle before. That guy died in...
No, he died at sea.
What about the ships?
The last one.
Peacock feather.
The front.
Very colourful feather. The front.
Joseph.
Joseph.
Who was Joseph?
Yeah.
Joseph is here.
Did you live here?
Yes.
Okay, you lived here.
Maybe it was a delayed
Man of
answer.
war.
Man of war?
Man of war. What does Bolling Hall mean to you? Man of war?
And they had the thing about ships.
It could also be relevant to this room though, because the whole story with the ghost room, you know what I'm saying? How many times did the ghost visit this room?
20 again.
That's a lot. What does 20 mean though? There's a number on the door.
It is the number 20.
Oh my god!
It is the number 20. It is.
I just remember, it just popped into my head and I remembered. Okay.
I think I said Henry.
Just to note, Henry could be relevant to Sir Henry Savile, who purchased Bolling Hall in 1649 and lived there until 1668, or it could potentially have more royal ties.
Dog.
The pug!
The pug. Is that pug relevant to the history, or is that a...
Oh my god, imagine Sear produces a pug.
No, it's just trees like a forest. Produced a forest.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of trees around this house, so I don't know. Could be mean
I
something.
think that pug one was a bit of a stretch.
Hey, I'm marking it as a positive.
I think that said ship.
Ship again.
What about the
Can you
ships?
tell us about the ships? Why is that important to you?
I do it.
What did you do to the man in the bed?
Tell me about the Civil War. Are you a royalist?
All the time.
You're all the time a royalist. How does it make you feel if I told you that the year is 2024 and we have a King Charles in rule right now? King Charles III. How does that make you feel?
Corrupt.
Okay.
No comment.
No comment from us.
No
We are not
comment.
here to...
No.
We are not here for political commentary.
We're not here to
We're
ruffle
gonna-
no feathers.
We're going to stay out of that one. Let's move on to the next question.
Do you know the pink lady on the staircase? Caroline Woods?
Don't.
You don't know her.
You don't know her?
What? Okay, it's like they're from a different era.
Well, yeah, because different families at different times occupied this place.
She's more recent, and I reckon they're not.
Hmm.
What year is it for you?
Can you show us the girl in the bedroom on the device behind me that's been pinging images? Can you go up to it maybe and see if you're able to make it?
Hate.
Okay, you don't want to do it. Fair enough.
We got hate come through GhostTube original on the walkthrough. Alison
Yeah.
wouldn't know that either because she wasn't with us.
So you don't like us being here?
What does hate mean? Do you hate us? Do you hate another person? Do you hate it here?
Do you hate the room that you're in?
Tired.
Okay.
Castle Tower.
Well, we're...
I think that's a bitch.
Ooh.
Hate, bitch.
Hate,
Castle
bitch.
Tower, we talked about royalists before.
But also, there's aspects here. There's a very old tower and it looks castle-like. Maybe that's what it's trying to depict. The oldest part of
What
this.
are you thinking?
That's where hate came out in the
We're
old
thinking
part.
that the tower on that device here sort of looks like the tower here, minus the turrets on top.
Is that what you're trying to show us? The tower of Bolling Hall?
Don't ask.
Alright, we'll move on.
It's okay.
It's so weird, I feel like there's been a few topics and we're like,
Yeah.
It's like-
Is there something sensitive that we're not supposed to know here?
didn't they say that they kept Walter upstairs because
Old.
like they would hide him from guests and stuff?
Old. Maybe they're saying they've been here a very long time because they wouldn't give me a date. Maybe they don't know how long it is and stuff since they've been here. Who is the king right now for you? Who is the king or who is the
People.
queen?
What are their names?
They've always been people. Or have they?
Wasn't it King Charles for them then too?
Well, at a certain era, but this place has sat here since.
Right.
They
so
promised.
what did they promise you?
The king or queen promised you something?
Okay,
Turn to ash.
stop rolling.
Oh,
Is that relevant or no?
that's just creepy. I mean,
Get her out.
yeah. Here, we pulled Alison out, and as we were debriefing each other on what had just happened, we captured one last GhostTube seer image.
James. Can you roll or anything? Just cut everything except Sierra. Look, this image came up of a girl in a white dress.
Like the ghost room girl?
Yeah. We just stopped. We cut every camera.
No, that one...
Oh, that one's
I
still
haven't
rolling.
cut that one.
Oh, we've got one more camera on then. Anyway, this
We've
just
got
come
it.
up. That is
Okay.
cool.
It's just like the girl pulling off the bed sheets, a young girl. After this, we began to set up and investigate with Alison for her video when Jared's phone flew off of the shelf. Audio for Alison and Esther. Let me roll this for you, Alison, in case one of them goes off. What the was that?
My phone just... Is that camera at Esther rolling?
Unfortunately, my camera pointed out.
That is rolling. My phone just...
Flew off the...
Okay,
Anyway.
I'm going to put that back.
While this was exciting in the moment, we were able to debunk the event as likely being gravity. In the sped up replay, you can see the phone slowly shift until it falls off, and luckily it didn't break. But now, we switched things up and performed another Seer and Estes with Alison in the ghost room. Again, we received interesting images and responses, which did have crossover with our session, so make sure to watch and subscribe to Adelaide's Haunted Horizons to see the entire investigation. But now, Jared and I made our way back up to the green and blue rooms to continue reaching out, as we felt as though we'd had our most interesting interactions of the night in this space.
Oh, already got a cat ball.
Yay, thank you. Is that camera rolling at the back?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, I got GhostTube here.
So we're calling out to whoever might be in this room. Heard that there are children here. We also know Walter's staircase is just in here as well. Thank you for lighting that up. There's a few balls around the place in this room and up in the green room as well. Maybe you can go up to some of them.
You want to play with any of the others?
Yeah. Time to do a swap-a-roo.
So we're doing a swap, guys, to see if it's a malfunction. Oh,
The middle one?
No, that's the
That
different
was
one.
Okay, so it's
That's a
multiple.
different one.
Thank you.
Can you can you come over here and light these ones up by the stairs, going into the other room? Can you follow me into this room? Up here.
Here I decided to stir up activity by reciting some nursery rhymes I found online, something the children are said to be fond of. Alice the camel has 5 humps. Alice the camel has 5 humps. Alice the camel has 5 humps, so go, Alice, go.
Boom, boom, boom.
Alice the camel has 4 humps.
Are we really doing this?
Alice the camel has 4 humps.
For those of you at home, just fast forward this bit.
Are ye sleeping? Are ye sleeping? Brother John, Brother John. Morning bells are ringing. Morning bells are ringing. Ding dang dong. Ding dang dong. I've never heard that one.
I've never heard that one either.
Do you like these? If you like these nursery rhymes, maybe you can make a noise like this. I'm listening.
Can we go into the other room?
Yeah. Just watch these cat balls.
Go to the area where you got touched.
So I was here, felt like I was touched here, and it honestly felt like something, like a pebble got thrown at me, hit me, and then bounced in front of me. And then it was funny that we got the response left up there, and
It also said it liked you, didn't it?
Yeah, so I wonder who that is. Someone likes me?
He can't stay.
You need to go away, Jared.
Doesn't like me. Do you want this on your own then?
Yeah, maybe you go stand in the blue room or something.
I'll just stand by the staircase. That was weird.
Okay, so you like me, but maybe not Jared. Noted.
I'm just going to sit down on the stairs here.
May I ask who this is?
What the was that?
So I cut GhostTube Original and I rolled GhostTube Vox, and then a man's voice came through straight away. I'm pretty sure it said down.
I've got a cat ball going off in this room.
Okay, down there. Well, I'm at the bottom of the stairs as well. I'm going to walk towards Jared through the room. Is that all right?
Go there.
Go there.
The man's nut.
There's been a theme tonight of a man coming through. We don't know who the man is, though. I thought there was little kids up here before. It's just a man.
Behind you. Did it say behind you?
I thought it said like you. All right, where are you? Green or blue room? Where do you want me to go?
Are you getting creepy dude hitting on you vibes?
Are you?
I feel like, well, not hitting on me, but hitting on you. I like you, I like you.
He can't stay.
He can't stay.
Well, hello. Who is this? You know what I really love in a man? I love a man that's comfortable enough to play with these some balls. Play some ball games. You can push these balls off of this. I would really like that.
I like the hair twirl that you did as you said that.
Yep. Okay, scary voice. Scary voice. Don't mind him, he's just here to film.
That sounds even worse.
And I came up, actually, I'm not going to say that. Okay, who are you? Had a little tap back here.
Can we swap? And I'll try to talk, seeing as it doesn't seem to like me. Alright, I'm here now. And this is my wife. So you can stop harassing her, please. Do you hear me? Yeah, I didn't think you wanted to talk to me.
Talk to him. Tell him what you think of him. Literally nothing. Give it back.
Despite taking the phone back from Jared, it seemed the conversation had gone dry. We tried to reach out back in the blue room with the children, by Walter's staircase, and even the Civil War room without success. So I tried one final experiment for the night by rolling GhostTube Seer.
Show me an image and then I'll leave you alone. Show me what you look like, who's in here. Oh. Ooh. This is interesting. We've got two women. One almost looks like a nun. One looks like they've got a black shroud over their head. I want to say it doesn't look human. At the same time, like it could just be the AI a bit distorted. It's a strange one.
It looks like nun being visited by someone in prison and they're using those visitor phones. Or they were looking into a mirror of some kind, I don't know. Can you show me who touched Amy's arm? Or what touched Amy's arm? How come whenever I hold it, nothing comes up?
I don't know.
I swear something likes you. Well, it did say I like you, he needs to leave.
Yeah.
And with that final somewhat disturbing image, our time at Bolling Hall had come to a close. We'd had an incredibly curious night, and it was a true privilege to investigate the ghost room, the site of one of Britain's oldest ghost stories. Plus we got to experience this with our good friend Alison of Adelaide's Haunted Horizons. And I do definitely recommend subscribing to her and watching her video at Bolling Hall. We do also hope you've enjoyed this investigation, so hit like, leave a comment and share the video, then check you're subscribed with all notifications turned on for this channel, as our next video will take you all the way to Argentina to explore a very dark haunting that lingers in the rotting remains of an old abandoned hotel. You won't want to miss the next paranormal investigation on AmysCrypt.